Hey folks, it's Ted Cantu coming at you with a new show, and we've got some really great things coming on your the next 20 minutes or so. We're talking about the brand new site that's up called yourhealthrevolution.info, and we're publishing stories about real change, and we're looking at personal transformation, a health revolution that begins with you, and also some spiritual insight that I think is going to be really helpful for a lot of people. And this is a really exciting project. So you're part of something brand new and groundbreaking. This is something I wanted to do for quite a while, but I didn't really know how to really put it across to a new audience. And we used to have an audio show on Podomatic. It was a podcast show. We did about 20 episodes or so, and those are still out there. So if you go to Podomatic.com and type in the Online Money Machine show, that was one of our first shows that we did. And I've tried to resurrect it over the years, and now we got a new home over here at Podbean.com, and I think that's a really cool service, and we seem to like it here very much. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than the radio show we used to have down in Detroit. Don't even get me started on that. That was very expensive, and I think back in those days I only had like 10 listeners, so it was it could be very embarrassing at times too. But the ones I did have back in those days, they were very loyal, so no disrespect to them, but we are glad to be back in the masses. And of course you can always find us on YouTube as well. So we are going to be very loud and very present. So and we bring good news, so it's not just on-air fluff, and we're not just trying to sell you stuff, we're actually trying to open your eyes to some new possibilities. And today, I want to tell you about my $40 lunch that I had at Whole Foods, because it was quite expensive, $40, as you can imagine. And I'm trying to think now what I actually ordered. I think I had, it was a sandwich of some kind, and I had 2 side orders from the hot bar, which was your guess is as good as mine. It could have been mac and cheese. It could have been some sort of a casserole or something. And I had some hot soup from the soup bar and a drink. And I don't know. It's a big lunch, I know. I might have had a bag of chips in there as well, but it came out to like $40 at Whole Foods, and that was the last time I had lunch there. I didn't go back after that. That was it for me. So that kind of got the wheels spinning quite a bit. How do we get quality food without spending a fortune and spending all your money on this stuff? And I've had this experience many places. And when I lived in Manhattan, of course, it was outrageous. Chicago's outrageous too when it comes to prices. And when I lived in the East Coast, we had a store called Wild Oats, which is basically like Whole Foods, more or less. And they might even be owned by the same company, I'm not sure, but those kind of places have really high-end organic produce and products, and they will charge you for it. And it's expensive, and you got to really wonder, like, what am I buying? And I do believe it's about, this number projection might be a little bit low, but I think it's like 35% of organic produce has like pesticides in it, like 35% pesticide content in the food. So it's pretty disheartening, really, So I think you're better off making your own, growing your own food. But how do you do that indoors 24 hours a day, 365 days a year? Is it even possible? And thanks to a new technology called Tower Gardens, it is very much possible. And you can grow your own food anytime you like. And we've got some pictures of what these things look like. And there's no soil involved, there's no pesticides, there's no bugs in your house. It's very clean, and it's a very, very interesting way to make your own food. And it's not organic, it's actually better than organic, because there's no, like I said, there's no pesticides, there's no, of that usual mess that goes with it. It's a very clean food source, and the nutrient content is extremely high. And I've seen these things up close, and I can really tell you the quality of the food is incredible. I mean, we've had tomatoes on this thing. We had cherry tomatoes, and they were just an incredible quality. It was you could actually smell the tomatoes and the herbs after they were picked. And I was actually sitting across the yard at a friend's place, and I could smell the fresh fragrance from the fruits and vegetables coming off of this thing. It was absolutely amazing. So that's a really cool way to go if you're going to think about this at all. Many reasons that you should consider doing this. There was an article on, you can look it up on the web. I happen to found it on this thing called foodsafetynews.com, and there was a report recently about, there's no nice way to say it, so I'll just say it. There was fecal contamination, and the FDA actually reported some, E. coli outbreaks and Mexican cilantro, which really just grossed me out. And I'm not going to go into the full details of it, but here's what they said right from the site. The U.S. and Food Drug Administration issued an important alert on Tuesday, which would have been July 28th, 2015, from the state of Puebla, Mexico, and there was concerns about fecal contamination and that were found in the fields, and also the cleaning and processing facilities in that area. And cilantro is actually pretty cheap. It's very cheap, and you can actually grow it yourself. But this type of thing happens a lot. And just last month, or it might have been this month, I'm trying to think of when this was, Chipotle, it was this month, December 4th, 2015. Chipotle, the Mexican grill, has linked E. coli outbreaks in a lot of different their farmers markets and let me see. I want to make sure I get this right, so I'm not gonna just speak from the hip and get it wrong. Here's what it says. There was 9 confirmed cases of E. coli, and it was the E. coli 0157 outbreak in the Seattle area was linked to Mexican food served at farmers markets and from food trucks. And here we go. So there it is. Not good. Not good at all. This is this is for another place. So it's not just Chipotle, but it's another place here called Los Chilangos. Okay, so it's a restaurant that was operating with food trucks, and yeah, there we go. And one person was hospitalized for 10 days for a kidney failure associated with E. coli infection. This is some pretty heavy, serious stuff, and it's pretty disgusting, and that's what's happening to our food. A lot of our food is coming in from other countries, and the quality is not good. The nutrition is not there, and that's really, unfortunate. So anyway, here's the point. You can actually grow your own food now inside with these incredible things called tower gardens, and it's a brand new technology. To me, I'm sure it's been around for a while, but a lot of people I talk to don't even know it even exists. I was at a function last night, and there was a presentation about these amazing units, and a lot of people were very unfamiliar with this technology. And I had to kind of think back a bit to when I was a kid. There was a Disney show called The Mouse Factory when I was a kid. And this is going a long time ago. And there was an interview on the show about one of the inventors of this aeroponic growing system for food. And they said, this is how the food will come to us in the future. This is how food will be manufactured. And it was an exhibit at Epcot Center back in the 70s. And I remembered what this was. I struck a bell with me. Same guy, the same person actually creates this new technology for a manufacturing company for, healthy food and healthy living. Pretty cool stuff. And it's extremely cheap, really. And you need some space to grow because I'll tell you what, 2 tomato plants on this thing can really fill up a room. And a colleague of mine actually grew 3 plants on one tower garden, and I believe he said he made 1,000 tomatoes. and so this is definitely a powerful technology, and there's different ways you can use it. You can grow kale on there. You can grow basil, lettuce, different types of lettuces and tomatoes, cucumbers, melons, and it's pretty awesome. Some people like to put all their salad stuff on one tower, and another one can just be for juicing material, food, and another one can just be for herbs, basil, oregano, any kind of herbs that you have. I've got pictures of all of these things. I went to a display and I took pictures of all of these different ways that you can use it, and different plant combinations that you could use this for. It's really, really cool. And what I liked about it was just how innovative, how fresh it was. Within a couple of weeks, you'll actually see, activity and produce coming off of your tower garden. So it's very, very cool. And it's one of the coolest things I found. And I'm surprised that a lot of people don't even know about it, that this even exists. Because, let me tell you what, going to those food places, man, is not good. A lot of the high-end organic stores. And there was something in the Wall Street Journal about Whole Foods actually overcharging their customers, which was something I've always suspected over the years. But to actually see it in the Wall Street Journal really kind of woke me up a bit. And I just didn't really get excited about organic produce, and just kind of stopped going to some of these places. And I'd buy certain things now and then when I needed it, but it wasn't necessarily a weekly ritual for me. Now there's an alternative to all of that, and you can have it right in your own home. So that's pretty awesome. I just wanted to share that with you, and we are coming in at, what time is it here? It is, we've only been on for 12 minutes, but that's really all I needed to say, and I hope you check that out. We'll have some links on this video as well as our podcast show and the site at yourhealthrevolution.info. And with that, I'm going to leave you for now, and hopefully you'll check this stuff out. It is definitely worth it. Thank you for listening. This has been Ted Cantu with yourhealthrevolution.info, and I will see you next time.